gentlemen. We'd like to welcome Mr. Nizetic now from the University of Croatia, Mechanical Engineering from 2003 at the research at the Facility of Electrical Engineering, Naval Architecture at the University of Split. He has finished his PhD thesis, and the topic of his thesis was oriented on the development and thermodynamic modeling of alternative renewable energy concept, and today is still the youngest associate professor at his faculty. He has more than 10 years of teaching experience in thermodynamics, HVAC system, refrigeration, energy efficiency in buildings, and rational energy usage. From 2009 to 13, he was UNDP, United Nations Development Program, project coordinator in Croatia, and projects related to the implementation of energy efficiency measures in public buildings.
Thank you for introduction. I'm Sandro Nizetic, associate professor, as my colleague said, from Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Mechanical Engineering and Naval Architecture at University of Split. So my research topics are focused on investigation of renewable energy sources, energy efficiency in buildings, and also heating and air conditioning. But today, today I will discuss a topic that's related more to energy policy. I would like just to present my field experience, as I was UNDP project coordinator from 2008 to 2013 in Croatia on a project that was related on energy efficiency in public buildings. So we were the first country maybe in Europe that had created this kind of project that was related in general in public buildings. First I want just to tell you a few introduction facts regarding Croatia so that you can get more or whole picture. First, from July of 2013, Croatia has become an EU member. So during negotiation period, our energy policy and in general policy regarding energy efficiency was rapidly changing, which means that we have adopted a lot of directives, laws and regulation from field of energy efficiency and in general from field of energy. It is also a fact that Croatian energy market is extremely sensitive and unstable regarding the global energy market fluctuation. The reason for that is because we are unfortunately importing more than 50% of primary energy, which means that around 50% or 6.5 billion of euros is spent on for cost for important energy. Also, it is unpleasant fact that Croatia is still in this region country that is deeply affected with recession, and at this moment our government debt to GDP is around 67%, and I think 2 weeks ago I have heard from media that our Ministry of Finance will need to go to take a new loan, which means that in a very short period of time we will have around 70% government debt to GDP, which is not a pleasant situation for Croatia. Also, it is fact that in Croatia we have got more than 120 political parties, which is I think, from my point of view, critical issue, because Croatia is a country with population of 4.5 million, and we have got 120 political parties, which means finally that you are not able to get any kind of consensus regarding some important questions for Croatia, especially that are related to some economic issues or these issues that are connected with energy and energy efficiency. It is also a fact that political and economic power is concentrated in Croatia. It's concentrated in the main capital of Croatia, city of Zagreb. For example, I live in the city of Split, which is a city on coast side of Croatia on Adriatic Sea, and our main income is tourism. So we are earning a few billion euros per year that are first directed to Zagreb, and then we are receiving a relatively small amount of funds, which is causing some economic issue for our region. And it is also a fact that in recent years, UNDP, or our project that was related to energy efficiency public building, has started some good things in Croatia. We have introduced some new organization structure in public institution, and also beside this public sector, we had influence also on residential sector through different kind of education things that we have provided to local people. So from this slide, I want to just show you a few facts, or I want to present first some gaps and barriers if you have got some project idea in Croatia and if you want to realize this project. As you can hear from my presentation, I have some emphasis on politics. I'm engineer. My everyday life is to calculate something, to simulate something. But as I was UNDP project coordinator, I sadly noticed that no matter that you have got a great idea, if you don't have political support, you will have a hard issue to start some projects, although this project could be extremely good. So I have spotted a few barriers in Croatia, and I want to show you to them today, and I want to present those barriers. Why? Because I know that in each country maybe we will have more or less the same situation, but some barriers would be maybe more emphasized and some not. So first, it will come to the problem of Croatian legislation and its implementation. Although we have got now new legislation, which is EU legislation, in Croatia implementation is not on some adequate level, and I will explain later why. Then you will come to this political will. I said will and awareness. If you have got some project idea, and if you don't have political support for that, you will be blocked. And political support, unfortunately, is connected with corruption, which sometimes can be obvious, or it can be smooth corruption, like behind the table. Then you will come to this issue that is connected with educated professionals. So let's say you have idea, you have got political will, but you will suffer from the fact that maybe you don't have people who are sitting in cities and counties who will have a knowledge to support your idea. So you don't have this, your communication between those people will be not proper. Then we are coming to issue funds and financing. Today we have got stable ways how we can fund our project, but those projects should be quality projects. And also we have a barrier that is connected with documentation and public administration. So now in continuation I will try to shortly, briefly to touch each barrier. First, just a few thoughts or facts. So as I said, I was UNDP project coordinator, and this was my region of responsibility, Splitsko-Dalmatinska county and Dubrovačka-Neretvanska county. Population is around almost 600,000 people, and I had around 1,500 public buildings, because final goal of this project was to try to start some investment cycles in projects that are related to energy efficiency, but as I said, in public buildings. First, some political constraints. In Croatia, there is a general lack of political will and awareness regarding energy efficiency and energy efficiency policy. Why is that? First is because our politicians, especially on local level, don't have enough of knowledge. Maybe it is not expected to them to have this specialized knowledge from the field of energy and energy efficiency, but people who should advise them, like people who are sitting in counties and cities, are not enough trained for these issues that are related to energy efficiency. As I said before, it is extremely hard to achieve consensus regarding some main goals. So in Croatia, for example, we have got two political parties that are constantly changing their authority. But if you, for example, have a project that is started during one party, and if this project is extremely good, this project will be immediately stopped when other party would come on power, because it will be not good that they will take credits for some previous work. So this is the most, how to say, thing that is happening in Croatia. I mean, political competition is good, and it needs to be, because it is creating some new ideas, it is creating the environment for some quality project. But in Croatia, I think that still we have got this negative competition. On way, as I written here, I will support just my hometown or my village, because behind of that there are some voters for me. There is no general or some goal which is about that. But it's not black, as I said. I had a few positive examples of people, of some county mayors, city mayors, but those, or municipalities, but those areas are small, and they were not, and they had no major influence on overall policy. Regarding the education, we had a lack of trained professionals, especially from field of energy and energy efficiency. I think that one problem is because we don't have training opportunities in Croatia. So I'm talking about those people who should sit in cities and houses, who should advise local politician, or in general or on some government level, what to do. Because we don't have training opportunities, we are suffering from lack of knowledge. We have some knowledge, but this knowledge is scattered at some University of Croatia, but we don't have some unique education for them. So I think that we should have some unique education, so that those people can understand what potential investors want to invest in Croatia, in which kind of projects. But however, I think that we have potential to employ more people. Because, for example, I want to show you just one clear example. Splitsko-Dalmatinska County has got is covering around 500,000 people, and you have got just one man who is sitting and who is in charge with issues that are related to energy efficiency, and he is, of course, with engineering background. But on this same county you have got 8 secretaries, and also you have got deputies of secretaries. So why we need to have that? We need to cut number of secretaries and to employ more people for engineering background, because today they will attract some new projects and investment. Regarding the funding opportunities in Croatia, we have got, I would like to say, 2 choices. First choice is Croatian Fund for Environmental Protection and Energy Efficiency, which is the main funding source in Croatia, and they will fund different projects from the field of energy. But however, they are supporting just one part of 5 minutes. Okay, sorry, of investments. So which means that you need to have some funds from other side. We have got EU funds, but in these recent years, modest was withdrawal of these funds was modest, because we had a lot of problems with this economic issue, high debt to GDP. So it's hard to get some funds if your country is economically unstable. Regarding this issue that is connected with records and public administration, we have issue with inaccurate real estate property records. But if I compare this state now and 10 years before, it's much better. But still, on some in some cases of public buildings, this is an issue. We have got a lot of complex administrative procedures. For example, just a few years ago, if you wanted to install some photovoltaics on your roof, you need to check, I think, around 50 permits, and you need to wait for a few years to get your license, which is crazy. And also we have got this corruption problem, which is emphasized especially on local level. Sometimes it's extremely smooth. If you have got some people who want to invest some money, they will say, okay, you can realize this project, but you need to employ my friends, or you need to employ my colleague from my party, and etc., etc. We also have got this behavioral context for Croatia, because the people in general does not take energy efficiency seriously, I mean on their public places. I think that root of all problem is because the majority of working population in Croatia had started their work period in these times where energy was, for free, it was low cost. So still in their minds is habit, someone else will pay energy cost for me. And also we have in general lack of motivation, which is connected, of course, with lack of knowledge and also with economic issues. So I would like, after these barriers, I would like to propose some things that would eliminate those barriers. First, I think that we will need to establish regional fund for energy efficiency, so we need to decentralize the funds. We need to provide systematization of the jobs in public institutions, so we need to hire more engineering professionals. We need to provide strict enforcement of existing legislation, because it is good, it is EU legislation, but we need to provide penalties, and also we need to achieve transparency establishment. So people must know where our funds are investment, which projects are planned in future from the area of energy efficiency, because it will create some positive trends. And finally, to conclude, I can say that implementation of legislative in Croatia is inadequate, although we have good legislation. For me, the main reason is lack of political will and awareness, and also lack of trained professionals, because sometimes if you have got political will, you don't have people with engineering background who will try to support your idea. Regarding funds, we have EU funds, we have domestic funds, and I think that we will always have funds for some quality projects. And finally, I think that we are coming to this issue that is connected with novel organization structure. So we need to have exactly people with responsibilities. We need to set some goals regarding energy efficiency. We need to monitor those goals, and as I said before, we need to achieve transparency to local people. Thank you very much for your attention.